In this video, we're at Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're going to be comparing two major lounges, the Capital One Lounge and the American Express Centurion Lounge. We're going to be checking out their spaces and also sampling some food. So come along and join me for the ride. Hey there, my name is Brandon and welcome to the channel. Today, I'm at Harry Reid International Airport heading on a flight home. Now, if you're new to the channel, you'll find out that I'm a passionate traveler who completely advocates for accessibility for deaf and hard of hearing passengers. But today's video, we're going to be doing a little something different, and I'm a little hungry, so we're going to be comparing two lounges there, the Capital One Lounge and the American Express Centurion Lounge. I want to try to see which one is the best one to hang out, so come along and join me for the ride. First up is the Capital One Lounge, which is located near Gate D50 in the main atrium. When you enter the lounge, the first thing you'll notice is the grab-and-go area, where there's coffee, tea, and an assortment of fresh items ready for you to take if you're in a hurry. As you start making your way down, the first thing you'll notice to the right are the restrooms. And this lounge actually has private showers should you need to freshen yourself up before your flight. But I'm not going to have time for a shower today. All I just want is food. What I've noticed with this lounge is it's actually much smaller than the one in JFK. And actually, this lounge is only 8,300 square foot. And you know, for the size of this lounge, this is actually not bad. I actually found the layout to be very efficient, and I was able to navigate through around the area. As you head toward the far side, you'll find more water, tea, and coffee for you to enjoy. And personally, I'm a big tea drinker myself, so I'm always grabbing a few bags with me wherever I go. And being in Las Vegas, you know the bar is going to have plenty of cocktail themes, all related to Las Vegas. And I didn't have time to grab a cocktail in this instance because I'm short on time. But we are definitely going to go ahead and grab some food. And this is the main area where the food is. And I'm going to recommend you take a moment to pause as we go through each of the food offerings. Some of the food were hot, some of them were cold. And for me, there's plenty of options to choose from. What do you think I'll choose? Stay around and find out. As we get near to the edge of the table, you'll notice to the far right what looks like beer dispensers, but plot twist, they're not. There are actually several different items that you can choose from, including from iced tea, lemonade, root beer, and so much more. And that is such a unique feature. And of course, there's more coffee and tea available. Now, let's say you're traveling and you didn't exactly tell your boss you were out of town and he wants you to hop on a Zoom meeting. Well, this lounge also has private meeting rooms for you to take that call, just like if you were at home. So this is Capital One's fourth lounge in its network. It opened in February of 2025. And last year, I was able to visit their brand new lounge at the JFK Airport. And you can take a look at that video right there by clicking on the link above. I also want to take a moment to thank you for visiting my channel. I really enjoy making these videos, talking about my hearing loss, travels, and all fun things about me. But I need your help, so please click on the subscribe button below. Thank you so much. Now, it's time to eat. If you're anything like me at a buffet, you want to eat everything you can. However, at my age, it's probably not a good idea and I could suffer from massive heartburn So I decided to settle on 5 items. Let's see how they are. Overall, everything was delicious, but my absolute favorite was the honey nut squash soup and the tiramisu. They were absolutely delicious, and I could not help myself getting seconds for these. So compared to JFK Airport, this is a smaller, limited menu. There are no QR codes where you can look up and order food from a special menu. What food they have here is just available in the back. That's it. Just limited. One of the ice machines is broken, so you couldn't get any ice for your water or pop, whatever you wanted. But the foods here seem to be pretty good, so. And just like that, our time at the Capital One Lounge is over, and it's time to head over to the American Express Centurion Lounge, which conveniently is only a 5-minute walk. They're both located in Concourse D, but this one is located near the gate D1. And so, we're going to go ahead and check out the American Express Centurion Lounge. Let's have a look. Alright folks, welcome to the American Express Centurion Lounge. And this is actually the OG of all lounges, because this place opened back in 2013, setting the bar for everything else. Now, before we go check out the food, we're going to grab some tea to go, because, man, like I said, I love tea. And speaking of tea, let's spill a little tea about this place. As I mentioned, this place opened in 2013 and it's American Express' very first lounge. Now, this place, compared to the Capital One Lounge, is actually big. It's a little over 13,400 square feet, so almost double the size of the last lounge we were in. But also, this place has what you'd expect: private bathrooms, showers, workspace, and of course, plenty of food options and bar options as well. So, let's take a look and see what we got. The best way to describe the layout of this lounge is like a U shape. So as we entered, there were seating areas where the coffee and tea were. But as you continue down the hallway, to the right with the workspace stations. And then you walk down a little bit to the left where the bathrooms are. And as you get all the way to the bottom of the U, that's where you find the food and the bar. Now, the first thing that caught my attention was how fresh the salad looks. They have plenty of fresh looking greens, dressings, and everything and all things you can to add on to your salad. So I decided I'm going to go for a salad. However, as I mentioned, definitely take a moment to pause so you can look at all the menu options they got here. And of course, no meal is complete without dessert. So we're going to head over to the dessert station where they have cookies, brownies, more tiramisu, and all the yummy things you can have. Now I'm a little full, but I want to eat some food here. This salad's fresh. As I dipped my spoon in the tiramisu, little did I know that I would receive the biggest surprise during my entire visit here. This is delicious. Wow, my favorite so far. Y'all, I can't even begin to describe how good this was. It was baked to absolute perfection. My gosh. After savoring all this food and the tiramisu, it was time for a nice cup of tea. After I finished my cup of tea, I realized it was almost time to board my flight. And I have to say, the best thing about this lounge is the views. I mean, you can see everything. The airlines, the tarmacs, and even the weather. Whereas in the Capital One Lounge, you only have the views of the indoors. Now, when it comes to comparing the space size, well, there's a clear winner, and it's obviously the American Express Lounge, as it has more space than this Capital One Lounge. Also, personally, I like the decor of this place better than the Capital One Lounge. As I made my way back to my gate, I wanted to see if I can sneak into one more lounge. And actually, on the day I was here, this lounge just recently opened like a week ago. So I wanted to see if I can get in and check it out. However, it wasn't meant to me because the wait time was over an hour long. And plus I would miss my flight. So this would be for the next time. So in the battle between American Express and Capital One, let's break it down. In terms of space, American Express was the clear winner. It was more than twice the size of the Capital One Lounge. And plus, like I said, the views were spectacular. Now, in terms of food, although the tiramisu at the American Express Lounge is my favorite, I have to give the winner to Capital One, primarily because they had a lot more options. Plus, the grab and go area is super convenient for those who are in a rush. But overall, you can't go wrong with either one of them. It just depends on where you are, what you're in the mood for, and what you need. I hope this video helps you, and thank you for being here today. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll catch you in the next time. Bye for now.